Hello everyone. So in this video, we will learn MongoDB using MySQL. Since many of us have learned MySQL, we'll compare MySQL queries and then we will learn MongoDB. Okay. So MySQL is a relational database, but whereas MongoDB is a document-based database. And if we compare architecture, in MySQL we'll be using tables, whereas in MongoDB we'll be using collections. And the equivalent for rows is documents in MongoDB, and the equivalent of columns is fields in MongoDB. So this is the comparison. So MySQL will be having database, table, row, and column. And similarly, MongoDB has the same database. Inside database, instead of table, will be having collections, and inside collection will be having separate documents, and each document will be having fields. Let us see an example. So this is a MySQL table. So in this table we are having three columns: ID, name, and age. Whereas in MongoDB, instead of table structure, we'll be having a collection of documents, and the format for MongoDB document will be in a JSON thing. So within curly braces, we'll be having key value pass. So ID will be one field, and the corresponding value will be stored with colon, and then name field, key value pair, and similarly age. Now let us see the different queries for creating database and collections and also inserting values. So in MySQL, the command query for creating a table will be create database, and then we'll be providing a database name. And then after creating, we'll be using the query use space database name. But whereas in MongoDB, there is no separate query for creation. So if we use the command use space database name, so it will automatically create a database in the specified name. If already the database is existing, it will simply use, instead of creation, it will simply use. So for both creation and using and selecting the database, we'll be using a single query, that is use space database name. And we'll see the various operations. If we want to show the list of all available databases, we'll be using the query use space database name. And then to create and use a new database, you will be using use space new db. And then to delete the database, first we have to switch to the database, and then we have to select the db.drop database. So the db refers to the current database which has been selected. And if you want to copy the data from one database to another, we have to first select the database using db space, we have to use the function copy database, and then we have to provide the source and destination. Similarly, if you want to create a table in MySQL, you will be using create table, and then table name will be provided, and inside that columns will be provided along with the data type. But whereas in MongoDB, there is no separate syntax for creating collections. Instead, we'll be using the below query so that it will both create and also insert some values in the collections. So the query for that is db. So this refers to the current database, db dot, and then collections name. The students refers to a name of a collection. We have to provide the collection name dot, then insert one. So this is a method, kind of method. So if we give this command, if the collection already exists, it will simply insert the documents in the given collection. If suppose the document is not there, it will it will create a collection in this name, and then it will insert the document. And after insert one, we have to provide the fields required for the document. Here we need two fields, name and age. So we are giving name colon some value and age colon some value. Okay. Similarly, there are certain other queries to create a collection explicitly, we can do db dot create collection of, we can provide some collection name. So the other way is, we can, if we directly insert some documents, the collection will be automatically created. So another way of creating some empty collection is db dot create collection. And to show all the available collections in the database, we have to use show space collections. And then if you want to delete a particular collection, then we can use db dot get collection of that collection name, then dot drop, or we can simply give db dot collection name dot drop. In both ways we can delete a collection. And if you want to find the list of collection contents, the same be db dot collection name dot find. And then let us see the crude operations, insert and read. If you want to insert certain records in a database, MySQL database, will be using insert into table name and then values keyword followed by the values. Whereas in MongoDB, we have already seen database dot collection name dot insert one. If you want to insert multiple records, instead of insert one, we'll be providing insert many. And after that, we'll be providing a list of documents. So we can give any number of documents inside the insert many function. Similarly, if we want to select certain records from the database, in MySQL we'll be using select star from table name. In MongoDB, the equivalent command for that is database db dot students collection dot find method will be using. So this will retrieve all the documents inside that particular collection student. If suppose if you want to apply some filter while selecting, we'll be using var class in MySQL. So after selection command, you will be using var column name equal to something. So similarly, in MongoDB, we'll be giving db dot collection dot find of, inside find will be providing the filter. If you want to filter the students with age 22, we'll be providing the field name age colon that value. So whichever document is matching this particular field value, those documents will be returned. And if you want to limit the results to only one record, we'll be using limit keyword in MySQL. So in MongoDB, instead of find, we'll be using find one. So this find one will retrieve only the first matching document. And then update. So the query for updating is update table name set, will be providing the update value, and then after var will be providing the filter in MySQL. Whereas in MongoDB, we'll be using the update one function. So database dot collection name dot update one, inside that. So this name colon John, this indicates the filter keyword, and then inside the one which you want to change should be given with dollar set colon which field you want to set, age colon 23. Okay, so whichever document is matching John, for John will be setting the age as 23. Here only one document, the first matching document with John will be updated with this particular value. Similarly, for deleting, database dot collection name dot delete one of which document we want to delete. Document matching John has to delete. Deleted means we have to provide that filter inside the delete one method. Similarly, if we want to count the documents, we'll be giving db dot collection dot count documents. If you want to sort the data which is retrieved from the database, we'll be using sort. So the command for that is database name dot collection name dot find, and after that we'll be using dot sort, and inside dot sort we have to provide the field on which field the results has to be sorted. So here age colon 1 means, so from it will be sorting the documents based on age in ascending order. If you want to sort in descending order, we have to provide -1. And If you want to limit the number of records to 5 means we can provide db dot students dot find out dot limit of 5. Whereas if it is single, we can give find 1. For other than 1, we have to use limit of the number. The required number can be specified inside that. So if you want to apply some projection, for example, instead of selecting all the fields, if you want to select only a certain field, then we have to provide the projection. So db dot students collection name dot find of, then empty curly braces, and then you have to provide the required fields. So here I'm going to select name and age, so I'm providing 1. So if you don't want to, if you want to omit certain fields, then we can provide name colon 0 and age colon 0. And we can't combine zeros and ones for all the fields. Only for underscore id field we can combine. Okay, since id is a default one which is created by default by MongoDB, we can combine that 0 and 1 with other fields.